welcome. My guests today are the actors and director of the new film Batla House, John Abraham, Mrunal Thakur, Nikkhil Advani. Thank you so much for speaking to NDTV. If I can start, with all of you, come up. Why Batla House? Why now? Something that happened in 2008. Why now? What do you think? What will resonate with the audience at this point of time?
Nikhil?
Yeah. Audiences have changed. And once the audience, I think the audiences ask, it's a reflection of what the audiences want. I mean, they want the Singhams and the Chimbas and the Suryavanshis and the Marvel spectacle kind of films. At the same time, they are looking at the world has become smaller. We know what is happening with the White House. We know what is happening with Putin. And we know what is happening at Brexit, and we know what is happening in Delhi, and we know what is happening. So why not? Give us more stuff. Article 15 has just released, Super 30 has just released. Last year, even films like Stree and Badhai Ho, which were comedies, but they were speaking about superstition, and they were speaking about pregnancy, middle-age pregnancy, etc. So the audiences have changed, and John is somebody who actually contributed to that, because he made a film called Vicky Donor about a sperm donor in 2013, right? He got a national award for it. So I think that over the period, there have been 2 films, and there have been 3 films. Now they have become a large number of films and studios. And when you have a T series, which for all intents and purposes is a traditional studio, it's a family-run business, and they turn around and say, "No, don't worry. आप हम लोग को पिंक जैसी पिक्चर बनाइए, आप D-Day जैसी पिक्चर बनाइए, आप रेड जैसी पिक्चर बनाइए, मुद्दे की पिक्चर, Nikhil, that's what you know and that's what you do well. We don't have a problem with it." So this is the best time to make that kind of cinema.
So it's really opening up not just of the industry but of an audience.
Yeah.
John, how do you take something that people know about? Batla House was a big deal in Delhi. It was very big politically. And how do you then present it to an audience to make sure it's still fresh, it's still relevant, and people still come and enjoy it?
Well, if I look at it from the perspective of an actor, when I first read the script, I found it extremely entertaining. So I found it contemporary. I said, listen, it's working for me today. I go by my gut. I think this should be made. Then I go by the age-old saying that fact is stranger than fiction. This is factual. This really happened to this man. The PTSDs, the questioning that happened to him after an incident. Were they terrorists? Were they not terrorists? It's even relevant today. It's even topical today. And when I put all these things together, I said, listen, this is a film that could be made today. But now the most important thing, like Nikhil was always brought up at every point of time in all his interviews, is we're not here to make a documentary. We're here to make something that's entertaining. So how do you marry commerce with content? How do you make something that's so credible, also incredibly entertaining for an audience to watch? And I think we were walking on eggshells, and we crossed that line very effectively with this one, I hope.
And I want to qualify what he's saying with regards to when there are certain quarters that say that the word entertaining means that we have just been very simplistic, and you just नाच गाना है और love story है और Bollywood तो वैसे ही करता है. I think entertaining today is basically getting the audience connected. If they get connected to a story and they feel, and they come out and they say, listen, I'm going to. So everybody who I've shown the portions of the film have called me up in the evening. I've shown them in the morning, and they've said, I was googling this whole thing the whole day.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't believe. Have you put this in? I said, what's the film? What's the film? Right? There's another hour and 20 minutes, which you haven't seen. No. But if you have not put this, then you have not made it correctly. This also they said there was this rumor about this also. Have you put that in? So I think when we say the word entertaining, we don't mean that it is just a film that will keep you guessing till the very last 5 minutes. You are hooked. Guessing. No, you're guessing. You're because just when you think that they were terrorists, there is a scene that comes which makes you, oh my God, the cops got it wrong. So then you start questioning that. Then there is so it just keeps rolling. And Ritesh has written a fantastic script.
It's interesting you say that, because even when Talwar came out, a lot of people about the Arushi Talwar murder, a lot of people said that, but it's all said and done. And then it was a really good film. Mrunal, when you and I were talking, you said something very interesting, and you said that how you need to do these films because they're conversation starters.
Correct. I entered Bollywood in 2018. And I feel so honored and privileged about the fact that when I entered, the things were changing, the audience were becoming smarter. They want something which is entertaining at the same time. Concept is the main agenda. Why should I go watch a movie? That's the first thing that we as an audience ask ourselves, I want to be a part of a film, I want to be associated with a team and a script which would lead to a conversation, because there are so many films which are changing. For example, Article 15 which just came out, and the best thing is Ayushmann Khurrana, we never really expected him to do a film like Article 15. Whoever is following him, whoever, like all his admirers and fans would watch the film, and when they watch the film, and even if they are practicing the caste system, they would be like, no, he's my idol, so I will not practice that caste system in my village. Similarly, I'm proud that there are actors like Jono doing films like Batla House. I'm sure whoever will go and watch the film, they'll start a conversation. They would really want to know what exactly happened. There are so many police officers because I belong from a family which is from the police department. I know what the family goes through. What are the pressures that the officers have to deal with? The family doesn't even know when the officers leave the house whether he would return or not, safe or not. So the reason I wanted to be a part of this film is because she's just not a housewife. She is a journalist, and like the society always pulls you down. A, because you're a crime journalist. B, because you are a woman. And especially when you have a news, when you have a lead, when you have to get the approvals done, and when you have to present it in front of the audience without sensationalizing it. That's what my character is about, and it was really fun for me because my background is also from Bachelor of Mass Media. So in a way, I felt like that was kind of a preparation for Batla.
For this.
So yeah, I'm happy to be a part of this film.
John, Nikkhil said that entertaining doesn't really mean simplistic. It's a lot more, and increasingly we find that actors like yourself or many others, are taking in these characters that are not the typical heroes. There are many shades of grey. Yeah. He's not good, he's not bad, he's human. Yeah. And is that a tougher challenge, or?
I did it in my first film, Jism. So when I started my career off, I probably played grey or the darker characters much better and convincingly. So I think it's the challenge is in picking up the subject more than playing the character. If you're convinced that you want to pick up a particular subject, I think that's the biggest challenge. Once you've overcome that challenge, then playing your characters is part of the process.
But is that more interesting?
Very interesting. So for me, normal is boring.
Boring, no.
And I've always said this, I don't think I've ever played, barring one film, I've never played a regular smiley guy who's running around trees, because it is very, very boring. Because when I was doing it, I started getting mentally disturbed after a point. So I think playing something different excites me a lot.
Batla House was a lot about politics as well. It wasn't just the police and the encounter. How does the film deal with that? Do you stay away, or is it part of it?
You can't make a film about Batla House and not talk about the politics that actually went into the film.
Politics actually distracted from what people, the questions that people were asking, right? I mean, in fact, I think the politics was meant to distract. That, let's give the police officers some medals. Let's start an inquiry. We were doing everything. Everything was happening. Let's do this for keeping these people happy. Let's do this for keeping these people happy. Somebody else is saying something else. I mean, UP, obviously the UP state government got involved in it because the boys were supposed to be from a town in UP. Everybody got involved in it, right? And the more people got involved in it, somewhere or the other, the truth got lost.
Right. What was the truth? What actually happened in that 10 by 10 house in L18 Batla House? Nobody seemed to be asking. Nobody seemed to ask that there was a six-time Gallantry Award winner who suddenly in a second became a murderer, or 5 boys who were students possibly at this university suddenly became terrorists, right? Nobody was asking that question. Everybody was talking about tears and this and that. Everything was, so the noise started becoming more important than the facts. And so somewhere or the other, I think the Batla House talks about that and tries to bring back the discussion to the facts, that there was an investigation, that this could have happened and this could have happened. The defense said this had happened and the prosecution said that this has happened. Now you decide.
So a mystery sort of based on facts. You know, it's interesting. I was watching the trailer, John, and there is a particular dialogue that you guys have put in the trailer where he says, "Aapka sach, mera sach ho hi nahi sakta." And I thought that was a very interesting thing, and sort of taking from what you're saying, that in the context of whether it's Batla House or even today with social media and everything, there is no one truth. There are so many truths, and everyone has
so
their
many
own version.
opinions.
Yeah.
Which gets the fact.
So was that something of a challenge in this, or just like you said, it was a fine line to take?
No, I mean, to take the easy way out, I think the script was so fantastic that, and I take credit away from myself at this point and say I had to just belt out those lines because they were so effective. But to answer your question, there are many different perspectives, so there are many different solutions that people have to the same problem or the same issue. So it's a muddled society right now. Let's deal with it.
But do you think with a film like this, you're expecting some kind of backlash? Because again, everyone has their own opinion of what happens.
Yeah, I'm expecting a debate more than a backlash.
Okay.
So I definitely think there are sections of society that are going to stand up and say, hey, listen, you haven't really represented us the way we're meant to be represented. There's other sections of society that are going to say, fantastic, what a job well done. But I think the largest section of this...
I think to just qualify, both sides are going to possibly say the same.
Yeah. So I think there is going to be a debate, and I believe the way we've all got together and made this film, there's going to be a very healthy debate. I don't think it's going to be ugly. It's going to be an intellectual debate.
Yeah.
I am saying on record, Batla House is a damn good film. So there'll be a debate on things that we've shown in the film. No one's going to debate the fact that this film is not good, as presumptuous as I may sound. So I think we made a good film.
Tell me, when you guys were prepping for it, was there meeting with the families, the cops? Was that part of the research?
I met Sanjeev Kumar Yadav and Shobna, his wife, and I spent time with them. Of course, Nikhil was there, and we spent a lot of time. Then I kept messaging him. I kept watching his interview. So I did a bit of research, but I'm sure Nikhil met many more people outside of.
Yeah. So I think everybody also needs to. I mean, I want to give. There are parts which have been fictionalized, and they have to be fictionalized because the only thing when we met when we met up with Sanjeev Kumar Yadav and his wife, we were very clear that we only want to ask about what they went through personally and what was their thing. Because whenever we did probe and of course, conversations steered towards the encounter, he would say that, listen, I can't talk about that. It's there in the public domain. You can check everything that is there in the public domain. And he would point us towards, you need to go. Have you read this particular thing? Aapne ye bhi padha, ye bhi padh sakte hain. A lot of that is from what we got in the public domain, what is available for us, and what we have had to fictionalize, which as John says, is entertaining.
Entertaining, yeah.
Like the Noora Fatehi song, which I...
Yeah, so I accept all the flack in the back.
No, not at all. I'm all in. But a good song and dance.
Can I made a film
I made a film called D-Day, and everybody who I meet, and it's heartbreaking when people tell me it's such a good film and we loved it, and I say, yeah, but nobody saw it.
But
exactly.
I have to say, when I watched the film Batla House, and even I had this preconceived notion about Noora dancing on such a fantastic song. She's done a great job. But when I saw the movie and the way the song was placed, I felt this was very important.
The hardest I have worked.
See, Mrunal sold it now.
No, the hardest I worked in the film, the hardest
is on the song?
Was on integrating that particular song and the track.
Everything else was organic. I had to work so hard, and I was thinking, because it is. I know what the biases are going to be. I know what the conversation is going to be, and so I had to work very hard. That I made sure that she's a character. I made sure she did acting workshops. I made sure she did dialogue coach. And there is a scene between her and John which is phenomenal. Phenomenal.
It's
really real, and it flips the second half of the film, which is.
Now you do know that a lot of people are going to look forward to the song and say, let's watch
which
this
is good.
For sure.
But funnily, when Sanjeev Yadav and his wife heard that I was putting the song, and they said, अभी तो गूगल पे लोग जब बाटला लिखेंगे नोरा फतेही का पता चल पाएगा.
Just coming back to, what you said, that you find very regular sort of roles boring now. But it's interesting because a lot of your films recently, whether it was Satyamev Jayate or the one recently, Raw, now it's very sort of the spy genre. Is that kind of the in thing now, something that's appealing to you? No fun comedies? I mean, horror is also back now.
Pagalpanti is coming.
Yeah, but I'm saying that, is...
No, so I just go by scripts that I enjoy reading and I like, and I don't look at a particular trend. Like, I'm sure there's a film called Kabir Singh that released that did very well. And I can promise you there's a whole flight from our industry that would have taken off to Hyderabad, to pick up remake rights. So I feel I don't follow...
But Kabir Singh had a lot, its own set of, issues. Yes. And...
Yeah, but I'm sorry, I didn't see the film, but where I'm concerned, I don't follow a particular trend. I just pick up films that I enjoy. I'm honestly, as cliche as it sounds, I am not concerned about box office at the point when I pick up the film, as long as I enjoy the script. Batla House is one such film. I didn't think about the box office. I said, this script is brilliant. I must do this. And I'm getting to work with Nikhil. So I said, this is fantastic. It's a great combination, for an actor. It's aspirational to work with a director like Nikhil. He made D-Day. I've worked with him before and I wanted to work with him, and I get along with Nikhil. So
that's
I decided
important.
The most important thing is no one other than John can pull off this role really well. So.
Our best times are in between shots. I mean, we would sit down and he would look at it. He said, "Can you look at this? I mean, now this is what is trending." And I would say, "Yeah." So then we would get into arguments. So we would say, "No, I think John, you're not seeing it from this." The times we spend in between shots, that led to us. I mean, we have a joint venture. We are doing 6 films together, his company and my film, because we just feel like this is the kind of cinema we want to make, right? I mean, I saw Vicky Donor and I was stunned. I saw it in a film. I saw it in a theater. I remember in a theater in Chandigarh with women.
Yeah.
And I was like, my God! And I looked at him and I said, John, did you? Was it a conscious decision never to use the word sperm in the film? He said, yes.
It's so interesting that you say, and you're absolutely right, it's so relevant. We're doing a show on surrogacy, and the producers came to me just before I was coming, and they said, you're doing an interview with John. So I said, yeah. And they were like, can you please ask him about surrogacy, it took me a minute, and I said, Vicky Donor, and they were like, because that is still so relevant. But it's interesting that you say that you don't think about the box office because you're a producer as well.
Yeah.
And I find that comes later because...
Yeah, so I'm actually very fortunate that I the way I select scripts also, somewhere subconsciously in my head, I marry the commerce into the whole process.
So that is there.
It is there at the back of my mind. Yeah. So whilst Nikhil and I, we discuss, so he's saying, John, listen, I need to discuss this. I say, okay, Nikhil, I am discussing the distribution part of it. I'm going to talk about how many screens we're going to hit out. So we're running parallel, shops at the same time.
Mrunal, you said interestingly that nobody else could have played this except John. You recently worked with Hrithik. I just want to know, not that I'm saying Hrithik could have played this, but who was more fun and who was more disciplined? Be honest.
Listen, I'm not going to be diplomatic.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, when it comes to Hrithik, working with him, because it was also a biopic, working on Anand Kumar and his character, he was really, really focused because we could not have masti on sets because the situation was a little bit intense. But here, we were just having so much fun. Even the song Rula Diya, even if it says Rula Diya, we were laughing and crying at the same. I mean, I was. I remember there's so much masti we did. John would always make sure that it's effortless. We sometimes used to get done in take 1 or take 2, but I had to make sure that I asked Nikhil sir, was that okay? He said, yeah.
But the one thing common about Mrunal working with Hrithik and me is we're classmates from
junior
KG.
Yeah. And I'm blessed because working with both of them in a way kind of inspired me to kind of work out and take care of my body, because whenever I see them eating
tough taskmasters to keep up with.
But I'm glad that I'm starting with both of them. They're extremely humble and supportive. Never in my not even once in my entire filming process I felt like, oh my God, I'm acting with the stars. So if a film can have an impact, if Batla House can have an impact on the parliament, on the system, on the way we look at the police, their life, their duty, the family, I think things are going to change.
No, it's politics, it's bureaucracy and it's process. If you take the case of this 17-year-old in UP, what is happening currently with the accused MLA.
Blatant.
So it's
Sengar, no?
Sengar. It's
blatant.
I mean, look at the media pressure that had to be built up to actually get something to be done.
Imagine they're saying that road.
Yeah.
First they said it's a turn road. Then they're saying they hit on a straight road.
Yeah.
The eyewitness is saying, मतलब वो truck उसी तरफ जा रहा था.
To hit her.
To hit. I mean, it's blatant.
And see, I want to be safe. When I look at a cop, I want to respect him, salute him. But the problem is when we look at the cop, we get scared ki, oh my God, should I approach, should I not approach? I really, really feel that we should just have a nice, honest, cool, calm discussion and act on it immediately.
That's fantastic. Last question, all three of you. One reason, quick short reason why people should watch the film. John, go.
Oh, it's a very good film.
Simple.
It's a very, very good film. I loved it.
The reason why I'm doing this film and why people should watch the film is because after this and before this encounter, there were bomb blasts happening. After this encounter, there were no bomb blasts happen. So I think you guys know the answer. You must watch the film in order to know what exactly happened.
Nikhil?
That it's very easy to outrage, and it's very easy to jump to a conclusion and to pass opinion and to make the day opinions start becoming facts. It's a very slippery slope.
I think that's a fantastic note to end on. In fact, that should be the statement of the day or of the week, that the day opinions start becoming facts.
Very well said.
That's the day we all lose our path. Thank you all for being here today.
Thank you.